Welcome back. You're watching 2015 Twists and Turns on Channels Television. Remember, all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores.
That's true. When you're done downloading, we do urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And you can also follow up on all the major stories there. If you've got pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, simply tap on the Channels TV app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. There is an edition, though, for this special edition of 2015, the Twists and Turns. You could follow us on our Twitter handle. It's #2015. Last Picks would like to know what you are up to and this final day of 2015, and you could just send us a selfie, a picture with your family, just whatever it is that you're doing, just so we're able to interact a little bit more and have your pictures and let the whole world get to see it.
Yes, indeed. I'm sure there's so much you'd want to share with us.
All right, we're going to have a little discussion. We have a panel here that will be looking at some of the salient topics and events in 2015 with regards to the security situation in Nigeria. And it's my honor to quickly introduce to you, to my far left, that will be Professor Nick Idoko. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on this show at this time.
It's a pleasure.
And also a politician, Mr. Morrison Quoker, the senior advocate of Nigeria as well. I wonder why people have to say you're a politician sometimes.
No, certainly not. Or maybe because of you, I'm dressed.
Okay, interesting. Good to have both of you here. Let's begin by getting your thoughts first. Nigerians overwhelmingly, by 2 million votes, voted for President Muhammadu Buhari. What would you say was the catch that gave him that presidency?
I think essentially Nigerians were really tired of the status quo as it were at that period, at that particular time. A lot of us had observed that corruption was at its high peak. Things weren't going the way they ought to go. Generally, Nigerians were just tired of that particular administration. And apart from the mantra of change, Nigerians were actually eager to have a change of guard. So a friend of mine once described the situation in Nigeria as a driver and a conductor. It got to a point where Nigerians were just sick and tired of a particular driver and his conductor, and then decided that, look, we need to have a new driver and a new set of conductors to ensure that the bus arrives at its destination. So essentially, Nigerians were just tired. And in the incumbent president, they found a man that they could relate with and that they could trust. And so essentially he won based on his persona, based on his personality, based on his personal integrity, based on his personal conduct, based again on his antecedents. So I believe so strongly. That's why Nigerians voted for him.
All right, before I get to you, Professor Idoko, let me ask you, would you say that change mantra the president rode on to get into office that Nigerians expected to see, would you say it's being met or it's been realized at all?
It's too early to start saying whether the change mantra has actually taken effect or not. But we can see from what is going on now, particularly the revelation that is emerging from the disbursement of funds towards the fight against insurgency and a number of other things. You could actually see that there's a new consciousness. It's no longer business as usual. And coupled with the fact that at the last presidential chat that we had yesterday, a lot of revelation also came out. So you could say that given time, even from what the president has said, and Nigerians must be patient with him, I believe so strongly that with time, in the next 4 years, the desired change will be seen, but we must not be in a hurry.
Okay, Professor Nick Idoko, let me bring you here in at this point. How would you assess the handling of the emergence of the insurgents in Nigeria's northeast from the year 2009 to the new administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the whole transition period? How would you assess the handling of the insurgents?
I would think that the handling has a lot to left a lot to be desired, if you ask me. I would imagine that when the insurgency reared its ugly head in the form of small-scale strife, some agitation by some individuals and groups, it should have been nipped in the bud then. But the reassessment was not properly done. I think it was just something the government felt was an ill wind that would blow away, and so did not take care in dealing with it decisively until it actually ballooned into something else, particularly when the police forces attacked the leadership of the group and killed its leader. It was just like a snake, beheaded. So you couldn't imagine what would happen, to the trunk. So the thing magnified into something else, which the government could not handle. Initially, the government also analyzed that in the context of the Sharia, which it thought during Obasanjo's time, would blow away, and it did blow away, but this one didn't blow away because the insurgents were determined, and they had an organized leadership, in a sense. So the government didn't take care in dealing with it, and it, became overwhelmed and couldn't really address the issues until now that we have even more than a war on our hands. It was like a warfare, and if you have that kind of warfare, which is non-conventional, we were not prepared for it. Even our armed forces, we were not prepared for it. And not to think about the fact that the forces were not equipped. They were not well trained. They didn't have the incentives. I remember then saying that I should think that government should incentivize the armed forces. If it meant giving them 1 million naira for the sacrifice they were going to make, I didn't care. But it wasn't done. And now we have a war on our hands. And the war is not going away.
Okay, just a moment, Professor Idoko. You talked about, you've laid out a lot of issues. You talked about incentive. What more could the government have done differently to nip this thing in the bud before it reared its head as a hydra-headed monster that it has become today?
Yeah, I think that the intelligence industry, isn't well organized in Nigeria. Because if things like this happen in a country that is well organized, we should have had more about, the groups. We didn't get more information on the groups. Even now, as we speak, we don't have superior intelligence. We don't have precise intelligence. Most of the things we hear from government is guesswork. So the intelligence industry, needs to be better organized. If it had been organized, I'm sure we wouldn't be telling this kind of story today. So again, the equipment, the armed forces, were not well equipped. You can hear stories and reports about, all the misgivings. Even when provisions were made, the provisions were not actually, deployed, to buying equipment until it got out of hand and we had to start carrying cash in aircraft, to an organized country. And those, cash outlays are still, I don't know whether they have been repatriated to Nigeria. So you can imagine the sort of mess we got into. Till today, I don't know the status of the military.
Okay.